All right, Bobby, you're our intro guy.
Every day is a national day. Welcome to Today Is, a podcast about what today is. I'm Bobby Barker,
And I'm Joey Nickel.
and welcome to our podcast, Today Is. That didn't seem right. We've got one time.
Yeah, we've done it right one time. You know what I did on the last episode?
What's that?
So the sound. So I edited it. I edited.
That
We
word.
talk for a living.
We do.
I edited the podcast on my phone this time because I was very tired, and we did the sound directly into the phone instead of recording it separately and then syncing it up later. So I edited it all on my phone, and so I didn't have all the tools that I usually have, or at least I don't know how to do it on my phone as well.
Right.
So I pulled the song from another episode. So what I did is I took the audio from another intro and overlaid it over our video. So the last episode's intro was very smooth.
That sounds great.
Because I took the audio from another episode and put it over. So your lips don't match up to whatever the audio is on the intro for the last episode.
That sounds absolutely normal, anyways. I wish
So-
I could do some kind of Jeff Dunham thing right
I
now,
know.
where I could just talk without my lips moving. But
We may do the same thing. We may do the same thing for this one. I'm not sure. If I end up editing it on my phone again. All right. So this episode's going to come out the day after Christmas. I know the day after Christmas is Boxing Day,
yes,
but we're not talking about Boxing Day today. But it is the day after Christmas, and I hope everybody had a good Christmas. Hopefully, you had a good Christmas.
we had an amazing Christmas.
That's great.
And you?
I had a great Christmas.
Awesome.
I mean, it was really crazy how how I got that movie deal on Christmas Day. It's
It
really
was-
crazy how Steven Spielberg called me on Christmas Day and said, "I want you to be in a new movie."
Well, I mean, when you solve the Middle East conflict with humor, those opportunities are going to arise.
It's the Christmas season. That's the least I can do. We just recorded a couple days ago in real life, so I haven't done any shows since the last episode.
Nor have I. But there is one thing that I would like to bring up, because
Okay.
we're not talking about Boxing Day today,
Okay.
but this has become one of my new favorite things to do on Christmas, the day after Christmas. We've turned that into our own unique Boxing Day. We've got a little fire pit in the back, and we burn all the Amazon boxes.
Oh, nice.
So
All right, that's pretty good.
We have hot cocoa and s'mores. And
Yeah.
and we get rid of all of the boxes in what we believe is a festive way to celebrate.
Hey, that's pretty cool. Yeah. Burn the boxes for Boxing Day. That's
Yeah.
pretty good. How many Amazon boxes do you think you've gotten this year for Christmas?
Whoa, so many.
I mean,
We've been averaging 2 or 3 a day.
yeah,
It's
right?
stupid.
It's got to be. We're up to over probably more than 25 at this point.
Yeah.
Maybe probably more than that. I'm sure I'm underestimating how many boxes we've gotten, and specifically Amazon. I mean, there's non-Amazon boxes. You know what I did this year?
What's that?
I don't know. You're on TikTok? Yeah, you're
Yes,
on TikTok.
yes.
I tag you on stuff. I don't know if you do any TikTok shopping. Have you ever
No.
done any TikTok shopping?
Never done TikTok.
They started a thing this year called TikTok Rewards, and you could do certain things to earn money and then spend it on the TikTok shop. And so I ended up earning like $250
Wow.
on the TikTok. Yeah, on TikTok Rewards. Now, some creators might spend that money on promotions and promoting their brand and, getting their videos out. I did not.
No.
I spent it on garbage from China that they sell on the TikTok shop to give to my children for Christmas.
Oh, so you turned talking into a way to provide happiness to your children.
Yes. Yeah, there we go.
I mean, I think that's the American dream. Thank
Yeah,
you,
I got
Chad.
like $250 in rewards from TikTok.
That's fantastic. I'll be honest. The only reason I have TikTok is because I have the app CapCut, that auto loads
It
there.
auto loads it to
And
TikTok.
so
yeah.
I just said, okay, I'll do it. And this is my greatest flaw as a comedian, besides not being funny and handsome enough, would be I believe social media is I treat it as a chore
I
instead of
know.
something.
Oh,
fun
I
to
do too. Absolutely. Absolutely. I treat social media as a chore, and it's a shame because I mean it's not it's a shame that we have to use social media actually, but like I don't like using it. I don't like posting stuff. I don't mind making the videos.
Right.
Honestly, I don't mind being funny on a video. I don't mind the creative process of trying to come up with funny things to do in video format. I just don't like having to post it and then like worry about the likes and try to get it promoted and did I post it at the right time of day? Did I send it to the right people? Do I have enough followers to even get any traction on this? Am I watching the view ticker go too much and stuff like that? I hate all of that stuff.
Right.
I like the actual act of making a funny video.
The act is fun. The creation is fun. It's the same thing. Show business. The
Yes.
show's fun.
The business part
gets
of it,
old.
I do not like doing the business part of it. I'm not. And I understand why comics hire people. Like it makes absolute sense to hire a company. Every comic I've ever seen grow in the industry and everything, at some point they hand it over to a company to run their social media, and I can't wait till that day. I can't wait till the day that I can hand over my social media to somebody and they say, "All we need you to make a video about this." I send them the video and they take care of everything and worry about who likes it, worry about who sees it. I can't wait for that day.
Yeah, I've spent hours subtly trying to convince both my wife and my stepdaughter who enjoy doing social media to handle mine, and then I know that it would become a job and I would be demanding, and I don't want to put that on them. But if they would volunteer, I would so say yes.
I know. Well, now my teenage son, he is not great at social media. He doesn't really care about social media that much. He doesn't even have. I actually don't want him to have like a TikTok account, or I don't let him get on TikTok. I don't let him. He watches YouTube Shorts.
Yep.
That's about it, and he watches long form YouTube. Like he loves tech videos and things like that. But he doesn't have a Facebook account. He doesn't have. Which did you hear what Australia did?
Australia limited it. Like, what, 16-year-old?
Yeah,
it's
now illegal for somebody under 16 to have a social media account, which I think is great. I don't like the government step in. I agree with the concept. I don't think you should have a social media account till you're 16, but I don't like the government control.
Right. I 100% agree with that because government control makes it more enticing.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Now teenagers are going to find a way around it and hide it from their parents.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what happened with I feel I have mixed feelings about this, but you remember when they put parental advisory stickers on CDs?
Oh yeah, that was a selling point.
Yes, they sold more after that, and a bunch of people fought it. Like a bunch of people were like, no, we shouldn't be censoring and stuff like that. And then, but it just ended up helping the the music industry. But I do like nowadays nobody buys CDs, so it doesn't matter. But I do like knowing if a song is going to be explicit or not.
Right. See, I never have a problem with labeling.
Yeah.
Labeling is great because it lets you know what's going to happen.
Right. It'd be different if they said you can't sell explicit CDs, from these hours of the day or whatever. Yeah. I think I agree. Yeah, I agree. I'm never going to have a problem with labeling something.
So here
or categorizing something.
Right. Here is actually a great example of this. I'm not a huge video game guy. Like I'll play some of the sports games, things like that. But I was at a Walmart right when like the Grand Theft Auto 3, I think that was the big one came out, and my friend was looking for it, and I'm just there. I'm like, hey, lady who's working here. I'm like, he's looking for this game, and she said, we don't sell it. Nobody should be able to buy that game. And I said, okay. And I went to another store and immediately, I've never wanted to play that game more.
I know.
And so I just went and did it,
Yeah.
and it was fantastic.
That's interesting. Yeah, that was a lady pushing her own belief system on somebody.
Yeah. So,
I don't like that phrase, nobody should be able to play this game.
Oh, yeah.
I don't like that.
No.
I would prefer the phrase, I don't think anybody should play this game because, or if somebody was like, I don't like this game, I think it's too violent. Yeah. I don't like that people play it or whatever. That's a different statement than nobody should be allowed to play this game.
Right. Or if it was like, hey, we don't have it, we don't stock it because
we don't like the game.
It has content.
It has too much violence. We don't stock it here,
Yeah.
so we just don't like people buying that game. We don't want to represent because you are representing a brand at that point.
Sure, yeah.
But yeah, I don't like that attitude either. I don't like that. Yeah.
As soon as that was said,
Yeah.
I immediately bought the game. I honestly think that's a very comedian thing to do.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah. For sure. Comedians, like. Yeah, I will say I don't like comedians who say you can't say anything anymore. I don't mean like they're telling you can't.
Right.
I mean when a comedian complains about things being too PC, politically correct. I hate politically correct complaints from comedians.
Ditto.
Because first of all, politically correct, the term politically correct or the idea that people have gotten too sensitive, that whole thing is a fallacy. Everybody has always been sensitive about something.
Yep.
It's like your job as a comic is to figure out what they're sensitive about and push the boundaries to the edge of that and get people to laugh. Right? If people aren't laughing, then people aren't laughing. It has nothing to do with cancel culture. It has nothing to do with like they're out to get you because you say the things nobody wants to say. It's like your job is to get people to laugh. That's your job. And if people aren't laughing at what you're saying because they're offended by it, then you're not doing your job.
Right. Yeah.
There's no such thing as things you can't say. You're just not saying funny things like to whoever you're saying it to.
Right. And if you have a point of view that you can't look at it and say, hey, there's at least a little bit of absurdity in at least the way other people look at this. If you're not being honest with yourself.
Yes.
Yes. I mean, I know that there's so much absurdity in my life in things that I hold sacred. I'm still gonna laugh at it. It might not be the exact reason. I might look at it and say, no, that you're looking at it the wrong way, but it's kind of funny how you're looking at it. But yeah, it's people take things way too seriously.
Yeah. And now when I'm writing a joke about a person, I am going to consider like, would this person be hurt by this joke?
Right. Yep.
If they would not, then I tell the joke. And then also, but sometimes you don't know. Sometimes you don't think they would be hurt, and then they are. And then if you're a comic that's like, well, it's your fault if you're hurt by this joke. It's like, well, then you don't like that person.
Right.
Like, I mean, and that's fine. If you don't like somebody and you want to make fun of them and you don't care if they get hurt, there's certainly a market for that.
Absolutely.
But if you are telling a joke about somebody in your life that you want to be in your life and that you like or love, and they say, I don't like that joke, that hurt me that you told that joke, and you say, well, that's your problem, I'm going to tell that joke, then you're a bad person then at that point.
Absolutely. And to relate to this, my stepdaughter, she's 24 years old. She's just married this last January. We're coming up on our 1-year anniversary. That's crazy to me, man. But very, very smart girl, very, very career minded, very goal oriented, and I tell jokes about her because she is a life coach, and I'm double her age at this point. I'm 48. She's 24.
You have twice as much life as her.
I have zero understanding of what a life coach is. I think taking advice from somebody that is 24 is absurd. And then
that's pretty crazy.
And then I
That's
think
pretty crazy.
she's probably talking to teenagers who can relate to her.
Yeah, that's
So,
true.
but I still make fun of it because
Packer,
I'm an adult,
can you go get me a glass of water, buddy?
and I
You're going to be on the podcast. Go get me a glass of water, and then we'll have you get on the podcast. Yeah, that's pretty funny. That does sound absurd to me too. Like,
but when I was
if you think about it for a minute, it's probably, she's talking to people who are younger than her, probably.
when I was in high school, some of the people that I talked to about life were my football and wrestling coaches who were in their mid-20s.
When did you put the water in it? Why is there so little water? All right.
You had a gulp of water. So now we're ready.
All right. All right. Today's topic. It's very timely to be the day after Christmas.
I agree.
When you during Christmas time, I assume you got some presents.
I got some amazing presents.
I assume everyone got some presents at Christmas time. If you did not get any presents, please email todayispodcast@gmail.com, and we will send you a gift over the internet. And then call you a loser because you didn't get any presents.
Right. That gift will be a reality check.
Yeah. Today is National Thank You Note Day. National Thank You Note Day, obviously a good topic for the day after Christmas. You probably got a lot of presents, and you want to help, or you want to show your appreciation to whoever gave you those presents, so you write a thank you note.
Absolutely. Miss Manners approves of writing thank you notes.
Of course. That is a good thing to do. Did you know, here I'll ask you a trivia question. Did you know what is the accepted time frame from your wedding, from the day of your wedding? What is the accepted time frame in order to send out thank you notes to the people who sent you gifts?
I believe it is 60 days.
Incorrect.
Incorrect. Okay. What is the time frame?
It is a year.
A year.
Did you know that?
I was not aware.
I don't know
of
who's
that.
making these rules.
That-
But if you look it up, I read that you have a year from the time of your wedding.
That seems absurd.
That seems ridiculous, doesn't it?
I went 60 because I'm like 30. I'm like, well, you just got married,
Yeah, right.
if you go on a honeymoon, in your, move, something like that, let's add an extra 30 days on there. I think
right.
that's too long.
Yeah. A year. Yeah, you got a year. Yeah,
Wow.
you got a year. So your daughter, hopefully she sent out her
Yeah.
thank you notes by now.
She's got time. She's got like almost a month right now.
Oh,
so,
great.
yeah.
She's got plenty of time.
Yeah.
Let her know.
Yeah,
Let her know she can still send out her thank you notes.
Absolutely.
Here's the thing. I think thank you notes have gone
Yeah.
away. Like I don't. Okay, there's a couple things our society used to do a lot of that I don't think we do much of anymore. One of those things is New Year's resolutions.
Okay.
New Year's is about to happen in a week or two, and I don't think people do New Year's resolutions anymore, do they?
I think that some people will say hey, I'm going to get in shape, and then they don't. But it's almost like that's a gym promotion.
Yeah,
thing.
that's a gym promotion for sure. That's marketing. But like, I think, you know what I think killed it? Finally put the nail in the coffin for New Year's resolutions.
What's that?
The year 2020.
Oh yeah.
I think people were like, "Oh, this can happen in a year. I'm not going to make plans for the future." Right? I think people gave up New Year's resolutions in 2020 and then never looked back.
The 2020 was a tough year
Yeah.
for everyone. The morning New Year's Day 2021 was
I know.
that was a tough day.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I think people just were like, we got too much to worry about to do New Year's resolutions. I did try to do one though recently.
Did you?
Yeah. And I've tried it now. This will be this. I'm going to do it again. I'm going to try this New Year's resolution again next year for 2025.
Okay.
I have tried and failed now 3 years in a row to
What is
successfully accomplish this New Year's resolution. I am tired of deciding whether I should shake somebody's hand or fist bump them. I am tired of doing that. I'm tired of doing this when I walk up to somebody or like doing that, right?
Yes.
I'm tired. You know what I'm tired of? It's not even that. It's not even trying to decide what I should do. I can do that. I can do the decision beforehand. It's me being insecure and changing when they do the other thing.
Right.
That's what I want to be strong in. Like if I present a fist and they put their hand out, I want to be strong and present that fist.
hold.
I want to hold.
Hold.
I want to. I don't want. I need to not be afraid of being awkward and holding that fist, right? And I tried one. I got real good at it one year, and I made it pretty far without shaking anybody's hand because that's what I want to do. I don't want to shake anybody's hand. I want a fist bump.
Yeah,
That's my move. I would rather fist bump than shake somebody's hand.
Right.
And one time, and this was early in the resolution, I was like, it was only maybe 2 months into the year. I was like, okay, this is it. This is my year in 2024. I'm fist bumping everybody. This is it. And I presented a fist bump, right? I presented the fist.
You got it.
I had it ready. And he started his handshake way too early. You can start a fist bump pretty early because you're just putting it here, right?
Right.
Handshake, he started it back here, and he started it like the distant, like he was across the room, and he started this handshake, and I was like, oh boy, this is not gonna.
Yeah, that's like a 20-foot wind up.
It was crazy, and I don't know what kind of person does a 20-foot wind up on a handshake, but he had his hand high, and he was ready all the way across the room as soon as he saw me. And I was like, this is not going to go well, but I am going to stay the course. I'm going to keep the fist bump. Now, here's the problem with that. With a handshake, you can keep your hand up here, and you can start a handshake pretty high.
Right.
Starting it far is weird, but you can start a handshake pretty high. You can, like, that's okay. You can go, hey, if you're being jovial, you can be like, hey, and shake their hand real hard, that kind of guy. And he's a tall dude. Like, I could see, he's a big dude, so I could see that, So he's got his handshake high. You can't start a fist bump up here.
Right.
I can't put my fist bump up here. It's going to look like I'm punching him, right? Yeah. So I'm still presenting like here. I'm still presenting at chest height, which is the appropriate height for a fist bump.
I agree. Yep.
And you have to start here. I can't go like that either. Right. I can't start my fist bump here. Distance. Your arm has to be crooked.
And it's based on your chest, not his chest.
It's based on my chest.
Your chest.
And then you reach out to meet him when you do the fist bump. So I've got it here. I'm like, he's going to see this, right? He's going to see the fist bump, and he's going to bring his hand down and fist bump. But I came up to him. I walked right up to him, had my fist bump. He brought his hand down and then just did some kind of gear shifter thing with my hand. And it was terrible, and I ruined my New Year's resolution, and then we're not friends anymore.
Yeah, that would have broken me.
That was it was not good. So I'm going to try it again this year. For 2025, I'm going to try to fist bump everybody.
So here is my concern, not with you doing that, but with me doing that. I am completely insecure fist bumping women. And the reason for that, is I've always learned it was polite to shake hands differently. The guys, you go in it strong. The ladies, you just accept lightly. And the fist bump, it just feels wrong offering a fist. It doesn't feel right.
That does feel weird.
Yeah,
I can see what you're saying. It does feel weird. I'm still going to try.
Yeah,
I'm still going to try.
And it's not me trying to be disrespectful to the ladies. It's me trying to be more polite.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. It does. I see what you're saying. Yeah. It does sound weird to fist bump women.
Right.
But I'm still going to do it.
Yeah.
I'm still going to do it.
Yeah.
And and that has become the comics thing anyway. Like we all fist bump when we say bye. Like, hey, good to see you, right?
Yep.
So it's like I feel. And by the way, this was a comic who did the handshake thing to me.
Okay.
And I'm like, you should know better.
Right,
Like you should. Like 90% of comics are fist bumping each other instead of handshakes anyway. And part of that is the culture of comics. You're interacting with so many people. It's like if you don't fist bump, because you meet a lot of people after a show, and I that's the thing. That's really where it comes from. That's why I want to fist bump, is because I'm sick of shaking people's hand after a show and then getting sick or whatever. Like I want to I just want to fist bump everybody.
Yeah, I used to think that people that fist bumped all the time were crazy, and then I shook like 500 hands in a night.
Yeah.
After a show where people were eating, and like I'm looking at my hand, I'm like, I don't know if that's barbecue sauce or what. And like,
right.
And it's I don't want to be rude to the people. I don't want to sit there and wipe my hand after every time.
Fist bumping is so much better than handshaking, in my opinion.
Yeah.
The thing is like, here's the problem. Normal people don't think about it. Normal people aren't. It's not on their mind to fist bump or handshake.
Right.
Normal people probably handshake. And they make eye contact when they handshake. Normal people that aren't comedians, that are super insecure, make eye contact when they handshake. So the biggest problem I run into is they're not even looking at your hand. They're looking at your eyes when they go to shake your hand. And so you present the fist bump, and then they go, oh. And then I feel bad that they got all flustered because they weren't ready for the fist bump. See, that's what I'm saying. Maybe I should start normalizing fist bumping from here, so that they can see that I'm ready. Or like starting like, hey, like like you do with a handshake, start with a fist bump. I don't know.
And here's the thing. It's also something where my wife, she's like, I don't get it. I'm like, you don't have to shake as many hands.
Right.
Like she's
right.
She compares it to like going to church, and saying hi to everyone, and like it's different because we see basically all of these people.
That is true. We see the same people all the time, and it's one day a week.
Right.
I have shows every day. If I shook hands with everybody that wanted to shake hands with me every week, it'd be crazy. I couldn't do that. I need to fist bump.
Yes.
All right. Yeah. Well, that's my soapbox for today. So anyway, what I was saying was the other thing that people don't do anymore, besides New Year's resolution, is thank you notes. I don't think people really write thank you notes anymore.
No, I know that my wife has our kids do it.
That's nice.
And I have to sit down with them, but it's one of those things where it's like, hey, it's a chore, and they always complain that nobody else has to do this.
Yeah,
and I believe them.
Yeah, that is true. So today's topic is thank you notes. We have prepared some thank you notes. Also, we have a special guest. Ladies and gentlemen, our special guest today
is Packer. Me.
Packer, I don't know if they can see you yet. Come under the table.
You've got to get over here.
You got to talk on the microphone.
He's just going to suddenly appear as Packer.
Packer.
I'm Packer.
Welcome to the podcast, Packer Joseph.
Yeah.
Hi. So, Packer, what do you do for a living?
I don't really know.
Say, I'm a kid.
I'm a kid.
Are you saying you don't have a job?
Why don't you want to contribute to society?
I want to be a comedian when I grow up.
You want to be a comedian when you grow up? I would not recommend it. It's terrible.
Oh.
I would recommend it, but only because your dad does it.
What grade are you in?
First.
First grade?
Yeah.
And do you like your teacher?
Yeah.
Yeah? And what school do you go to? No, don't say what school you go to.
Yeah.
What's your favorite class in school?
My favorite class?
Yeah.
Probably like music because I'm learning the piano.
Ooh. Oh, that's great. You love playing the piano, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, music class is great. My kids like music class. Daniel liked music class too. And you like your music teacher.
Oh, yeah, he's
Yeah.
the best.
Yeah.
You know what? I heard you play a song on the piano that I am turning into a joke. Not you playing it on the piano, but I'm using that song as a joke.
What song was it?
It's the Willy Wonka song.
Oh, Pure Imagination?
Yep.
Yeah. Packer can play Pure Imagination on the piano, and it sounds really lovely.
Yep.
If you want to see that, you can go to my TikTok and look for it. Look for Packer's face on my TikTok, and you'll see him play the piano.
Yeah.
All right, Packer, you have prepared a thank you note.
Yep.
Now, last week after the show, Bobby was kind enough to leave some presents for my kids.
Yeah.
And
Show them the
get the present. So Bobby brought Packer this great Mario stuffy,
It's a Fire Mario.
Fire Mario stuffy.
He gets an extra hit and he can throw fireballs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Packer was very grateful. He loved it. And he wrote a thank you note to Bobby. So Bobby, he's going to read that for us today.
I look forward to this.
Okay. From Packer to Bobby. Dear Bobby, thank you for the present that you gave me. I really like it because I love Mario. I liked it when I was born.
Very good.
That is all. Hey,
And also, there's this other picture.
You drew a little picture?
Oh.
What's the picture of?
that is.
Me holding the Mario, and Lewis with his $10, and Daniel with his $10.
That is awesome.
There's the picture.
That is. Hey, can I get a thank you fist bump? Awesome. It works. We set the expectation for fist bump, and it happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What time is it?
10:55.
Okay. All right. We've got a few more minutes to read our thank you notes. I'll start with my first one. We'll alternate. Did you write one or two?
I wrote one.
Wrote one? Okay. I'll read my first one, and then you read yours, and then I'll read my second one.
Sounds good.
Dear Commander Riker, I hope this note finds you well, probably leaning casually on some futuristic railing and charming everyone on the Enterprise. I just want to take a moment to say thank you, from one bearded man to another, for being the intergalactic icon we never knew we needed. In a future filled with sleek spacesuits and impossible fitness standards, you proudly stood tall and wide where it counts. As a testament to large, bearded men everywhere, you proved that we, too, can boldly go where no one has gone before, all while rocking a beard that says, I can command a starship and grill the perfect steak. You showed us that confidence isn't just about the size of your phaser or how many aliens you've charmed, although, let's be real, you've set the records there. It's about owning who you are, broad shoulders, hearty laugh, and a swagger that turns even an interdimensional paradox into an opportunity to shine. Every time you tilted that chin up and stroked your glorious beard in deep spacefaring thought, I felt seen. You represented us husky, hirsute heroes in the best way possible, not just as sidekicks or comic relief, but as leaders, men who could explore the cosmos, command respect, and still appreciate a good meal in 10 Forward. So thank you, Commander Riker, for giving hope to all of us who carry a little extra gravy and a lot of face fuzz. You've shown that the future is bright for beards, bellies, and bold moves alike. With deep appreciation and heartfelt make it so, Joey Nickel, fat comedian, beard enthusiast, and aspiring holodeck hero. That was my thank you note to Commander Riker from Star Trek. Here is my second thank you note. This one is addressed to Sushi. Dear Sushi, I don't say this enough, but thank you, truly, from the bottom of my heart and my stomach. I am endlessly grateful for you, the perfect bite-sized wonder that has brought joy to my life and soy sauce stains to my shirt. You've taught me that raw fish isn't scary, it's beautiful. You've shown me the magic of balance, the way your rice hugs your fish like a warm embrace, the kick of wasabi that takes me up better than coffee. That wakes me up better than coffee, and the soothing caress of soy sauce that ties it all together. You're a symphony, Sushi, a culinary masterpiece on a tiny, edible canvas. Thank you for being everything I need you to be. Light but filling, fancy but fun, healthy, or so I tell myself, while still indulgent. You're as versatile as you are delicious. Whether it's a Tuesday takeout night or a fancy dinner where I pretend to understand the difference between nigiri and sashimi, you're always there for me. Daniel, I'm recording. Danny Rocco, ladies and gentlemen. I also need to thank you for introducing me to chopsticks. Sure, I'm not great with them. I've accidentally launched a piece of unagi across the room for more times than I can care to admit. But you make the struggle worth it. Every successful bite feels like a victory. Here's to you, sushi, for being a little roll of happiness in an otherwise chaotic world. You fed my body, warmed my soul. Daniel. Oh, what? Yeah. Here's to you, sushi. Here's to you, sushi, for being a little roll of happiness in an otherwise chaotic world. You fed my body, warmed my soul, and reminded me that sometimes the best things in life are wrapped in seaweed. With all my love and a side of ginger, Joey Nickel, professional eater, amateur chopstick wielder, and your biggest fan, literally. All right. There you have it, folks. Those are my letters. Bobby had to take off, so he wasn't here for this part, but we're going to go back to the ending. Now I'm going to cut this in there and go back to the ending. So I'll see you in just a second.
Bye.
Dear Mark Twain, thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart and soul. As a 16-year-old high school junior, I took American Lit as was required. I was excited as both a patriot and an avid reader when I walked into Mr. Lukehart's class. I eagerly dove into Herman Melville's Moby Dick. And then I read Nathaniel Hawthorne's Ethan Frome and Bartleby the Scrivener. These dark and soul-crushing works destroyed the love of reading that any kid in that class had. Their works could easily have been described as the Great Depression, had Franklin Delano Roosevelt not done that anyways. It was you, Mr. Twain, that brought the humor back to America. You reminded people of the country that life is worth living, especially when you have laughter in your soul. So again, Mr. Twain, thank you. You saved American literature. Bobby.
That was very deep and at times dark.
Yes.
Wow, that was dark.
Well, Bobby really took that assignment very seriously.
I did. I've been trying to read more, and
I do love Mark Twain.
Mark Twain is fantastic. I was thinking about literature, and I remembered how awful, just awful, that period of American literature was. Herman Melville and Nathaniel Hawthorne. If you are listening to this podcast and you've never read them, don't bother. Don't.
But I do like Mark Twain.
Twain's amazing.
Did you know? So we brought up on the podcast before that I'm a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And
me too.
Do you know who Brigham Young is?
Yes.
Did you know that Mark Twain met Brigham Young when he was a child? When he was young?
I did.
He went to Utah and he wrote a paper about it, I think. Something like that. He wrote about it. Mark Twain wrote about going to Utah and meeting Brigham Young and seeing the Mormons in Utah.
I knew that he was out west, and that is when he wrote the Great Jumping Frog.
Yes.
So it was in that time period. It's been a long time since I've done.
He was like young. He was like not. I don't think he was even an adult yet. Like he was like 16 maybe or something like that. He was like. I don't remember exactly the details, but
I knew he was out there. I didn't know that he had specifically met Brigham Young, but I knew he was out west.
I know why I brought it up. The funny thing about it is Brigham Young thought he was a woman, and Mark Twain didn't correct him. Mark Twain, one of the most beloved legacy writers of American history, Brigham Young, the leader of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints at the time, thought Mark Twain, he misgendered Mark Twain and thought Mark Twain was a woman.
This sounds like a buddy comedy that would be written nowadays.
Yeah, I know.
I love this idea.
But yeah, that's why. But I always thought that story was hilarious. That happened.
I'm gonna have to look that
Yeah.
back up. That's awesome.
I love Mark Twain too. My father-in-law is a big. I've got a Mark Twain story for you. Not really, but my father-in-law is a bit. What time is it? We have time.
10:59.
Okay, the alarm's going to go off in a second. My father-in-law is a huge fan of Mark Twain, like very big fan, and he wasn't my father-in-law at the time of this story. I was dating my wife at the time. We weren't like boyfriend and girlfriend yet. We were
Right.
like texting, and we had been friends for 2 years before we started dating. So we were texting, and we had been on a few dates, and we'd already decided we liked each other. And she went on this vacation with her family, and I think they went to Nauvoo, Illinois. I think that's where they were going. And they stopped in Mark Twain's hometown because he was a huge, or his birthplace. And he was a huge Mark Twain fan. And they said, and this is before smartphones.
Right.
And he said, Alexa, stop. He said, Mark, we're stopping in Mark Twain's home. She texted me, we're stopping in Mark Twain's hometown. And I said, oh, you're stopping in whatever town it was, because I Googled it real quick.
Right.
And I said, oh, you're stopping in whatever town? And he was so impressed that I knew where Mark Twain was born. Like it changed his view of me forever. We probably got married. He probably allowed us to get married because of me knowing where Mark Twain was born.
The power of American humor.
Yeah,
right
and
there.
he did not know that I had Googled it until we were already married.
I believe it's Hannibal, Missouri.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, Hannibal, Missouri. I remember that because I said, "Oh, you guys are going to Hannibal, Missouri," and he was so impressed. And I did not tell him that I just quickly Googled it, and I didn't. Now, to be fair, you had to Google on a computer back then,
Right.
So I did go to a computer and Google it, but I happened to be at a computer at the time, and I didn't tell him until years later when we were married, and he felt betrayed and has hated me ever since.
Right. He gave you that look.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right. Well, that's all we're gonna do today. I'll record this later and splice it in because we have a heart out.
That sounds okay.
All right. Well, that's what we're gonna do today. Packer, do you have any last words?
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas.
Yes.
All right. Well, we would like to receive thank you notes from you. So please send us fan mail and thank you notes to todayispodcast@gmail.com.
You can also leave comments.
Leave comments, please. Engage in our posts. Leave comments on our YouTube. Oh, man. Somebody commented on YouTube. I was going to bring it up, but we ran out of time. We'll bring it up next time.
And please leave comments because that would
Spike
actually
Yoder.
engage me in social media.
Yeah. Engage us on social media. Leave comments. Subscribe. Please subscribe so you get all our stuff.
Yeah, subscribe.
Well, today is National Thank You Note Day. I am Joey Nickel.
I'm Bobby Parker.
See
And I'm
you
Packer.
tomorrow.
Yeah, go ahead. So say it again.
And I'm Packer.
Wait, let's try that again.
Yeah.
Today is National Thank You Note Day. I'm Joey Nickel. Wait, no, we're gonna do I'm Joey Nickel, I'm Bobby Parker, and I'm Packer.
Okay.
You say I'm Packer Joseph. Say it like that, okay? Today is National Thank You Note Day. I'm Joey Nickel.
I'm Bobby Parker.
And I'm Packer.
See you
Joseph.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye. I really like Mario.